Thanks, Kevin. AD, you see how they're playing you in the first half. What's the adjustment going to be?
So, we got to come out with a great intensity, and it starts in the warm-up. So, we got to come out with a great intensity, great mindset, and try to go out there and win the third quarter.
I have never heard anyone say it starts in warm-ups until now. Thanks, AD. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Greetings to each and every one of you watching at this very moment. I'm Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is here. Shaq is here. One half is behind us. Welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Right out of the gate, it was Philly setting the tone. They were able to stretch out their lead to 8 points on the heels of a few stops and some quality offensive possessions. Playing comfortably, they strolled through the rest of quarter one, leading by 12 points. In the second quarter, they continued to trade punches and won the exchange, finishing with a 6-point advantage at the break. And from what we saw so far from the Sixers, Kenny, what's your takeaway?
The differential is the free throw attempts. And that's one of the big stories in this game tonight. They were being so aggressive and so smart that all they could do on the defensive end was foul.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on Boston?
They ran their offense very well in the first half. There were almost no forced shots. It was good, smart basketball. The motion in their offense was terrific. They made those defenders work very hard. I like what I saw from them for the most part.
And it's just about time now for the third quarter to get underway.
Second half of basketball upon us. We may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game it's been so far. Richard Jefferson really making a difference here.
Man, he's been running wild on him through that first half. Absolute dynamite on offense.
And you know what? I'll be interested to see just how much he's got left in the tank. That first half had to take a lot out of him.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. Philadelphia leading by 6. Russell is out there with Haywood. Then it's Jefferson. Then there's Johnson. And it's Harden in at the shooting guard position. That's the group on the floor for Philadelphia. Now Young. James Harden missing on the 3. And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court.
And a moment now to look at the numbers for Durant. He's averaging 14 points a game, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Well, you know that he can put points up in a hurry, and he leads this team in scoring.
Yeah, you know, I think he's got a great sense of how to keep their offense going and being productive. If somebody else is having an off night, then he kind of steps in and fills the gap.
Here's Russell, an easy 2 points on the layup. Russell's got the lead up to 8 now for Philadelphia.
It's a great move, and he catches the defense completely off guard.
Yeah, if that's a harbinger of things to come, he's looking at having a very big second half.
Davis is checked in for the Celtics.
Celtics substitution, Anthony Davis.
Here's Johnson. Again, Philadelphia.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
Well, I'm going to credit the screen. I mean, that's a good, strong pick he lays there.
That'll be a 5-second call. And some of these distributors have been very hot from beyond the arc this season. The best three-point shooting point guards in the league. Second is Trae Young.
You know, if there are no other options available, any of these guys can just step back and knock down a triple. Great backup plan for any point guard to have.
Well, forget about using it as a backup plan. With the numbers this group puts up from deep, I think it should be plan A to have them stroking it from 3.
Now here is Davis. Richard Jefferson missing his last shot. And that's going to be a turnover. They call him for 8 seconds.
A moment now to see the numbers for Davis. And he's among the top 20 free throw shooters in the league. Doesn't waste many opportunities at the line.
And his ability to patrol the lane is a difference maker for that team. Exceptional timing and anticipation. That's why he's a top 10 shot blocker. Now here's Johnson. 10-point lead. This is their biggest. Now Williamson. He's been putting up the points on a very steady basis, averaging around 17.5 points a game.
All you have to do is point to their turnovers this quarter. There's a reason the scoreboard looks like it does.
That's been the culprit, the turnovers. I mean, TOs, those kinds of mistakes have really kind of drained their confidence to this point.
Pass to Haywood. It's good with the assist that time from Johnson. Johnson's got 9 assists in the game. Great passing. Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation.
The Achilles heel of this team right now, turnovers.
6 points given away on miscues. They can't afford many more if they're going to cut into this lead.
Just over a minute and a half played here in the third. And Durant sends it back.
You know, somehow Durant is still a bit overlooked as a defender and shot blocker.
And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Philadelphia leading by 12. 2 minutes into the second half of play now. And the basket by Harden.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Timeout call, the Celtics.
That was a good time to call the timeout to try to settle everybody down and get back into their offensive rhythm. They've been coughing up the rock an awful lot.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time. And a look now at the Celtics' upcoming schedule. On Tuesday, they'll go back home and they'll be hosting the Detroit Pistons. Then on Wednesday, they'll begin a road trip starting in Portland, and they'll be taking on the Trailblazers. And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Now the pass to Jefferson. Back to Johnson. Harden left side. The rebound by KD.
You can't look at the result of that shot. They'll take that whenever they get it.
Well, you know, I hear you. That's a good look, but when you're that wide open, I think you got to knock it down.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
And the 76ers with possession. They've got an 8-0 run. Harden against Booker. Harden can't hit.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court.
Guys, hard enough to win in this league, but when you continue to hurt yourself because of miscues, makes it all the more difficult.
Well, you put yourself in a tough spot. I mean, 8 points yielded off turnovers this quarter already.
And it's Russell with the ball. He'll bring it up for Philadelphia. They haven't given up any points here in the second half.
And the relentless nature that is Bill Russell. Always working for the best scoring opportunity. Won't find one better than that.
Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation.
And this deficit, a direct result of their lack of execution offensively.
Ugly basketball, plain and simple. In this quarter alone, they've given away 10 points off their miscues.
And now we're 3 minutes into the third quarter of play. Harden, no good.
Well, you know, they're in the lead, but he's still been frustrated from an offensive standpoint.
And that's going to be a turnover. They called for 8 seconds.
And that'll make a pair of turnovers for him in just the last few minutes. So he's got to be a little bit more deliberate with the ball out there.
Here's Philadelphia. It's been 10 unanswered points. To the inside, Jefferson. Great D that time from Davis. And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time.
And they're losing their concentration here, guys. Just sloppy with the ball.
Ronnie Cycling.
Philadelphia leading by 16. You know Clark, when he's 100%, Anthony Davis, one of the premier big men in the game.
Hey, I would take that qualifier off of it, Kevin. How about just one of the best players, period? He can pick and pop, he can pick and roll, he can post up, he can do everything offensively. And defensively, he's unique as a rim protector with the ability to defend on the perimeter, too.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
They're trying to stem the tide here.
Yeah, you know, they had to do something, anything to stop this run. You can't just let it go on any longer.
There's a break. Here's a collection of the shooting guards that have made an impact with their passing this season. The leading assist men among 2 guards. James Harden is second.
And what that group has a great understanding of is the importance of ball movement. I mean, they can all create their own shot, but their superb ability to set up teammates really stands out.
Yeah, I think you've got to attribute it to the unselfish attitude that each of them has. I mean, sure, they're going to attack and make sure they get their points, but they get just as much satisfaction in racking up assists, too.
Here's Harden. 18 points separating the teams. That's the biggest lead of the game.
Nice job by James Harden knocking that one down, making use of those short corner three-point shooting spots.
That'll be a 5-second call.
And a chance here to look at the numbers for Zion Williamson. Averaging 17 points per game, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. And you talk about guys who just have a nose for putting up points. He is one of them.
Yeah, he sure is, and he rarely has back-to-back bad games. If he has an off night, he usually follows that up with a big night.
Here's Johnson, and the 76ers tack on 2 more.
And that set them apart today, guys. Their success with the mid-range.
Simply taking advantage of what the defense has given them, and they've really made the most of it.
Unable to get the ball in bounds, they get called for the 5-second violation. The 3 from Harden. And Boston with the rebound.
They've been the better rebounding team by a healthy margin, but it hasn't been enough.
Yeah, you know, they're hustling and giving a good effort, that's for sure, but unfortunately, the execution has been lacking.
And continuing to cough it up here, the TO's threatening to cost these guys the game.
Yeah, you want to get a shot every time down, even if it's a tough shot. Any shot is better than no shot. You just don't want to turn it over.
Now, here's Haywood. 10 points in the game so far.
Over the years, I think Harden's come a long way as a passer, and his teammates appreciate it.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
Here's Jefferson. He's got 12. Elbow shot. Again, Philadelphia.
Taking advantage of the look he can find from the mid-range, right on target from Jefferson.
That'll be a 5-second call.
Yeah, this is not about charity, folks. That's his 4th giveaway already. He's letting his guard down out there.
Haywood dishes to Johnson. It's in and good for his 6th field goal in 10 attempts.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
Young fella is a walking turnover right now. Just far too sloppy in this quarter.
The 76ers making a switch here. Abdul Rauf is checked in. Harden inside the three-point line. Cycli pulls it in. And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court.
Well, those 5 turnovers, more than you like to see.
Boston making some changes. Nance comes in for Zion Williamson. And it's Fox in for Trae Young. Philadelphia's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. And slam dunk by Haywood.
Mr. Do-It-All coming away with the assist there. I mean, Harden making sure to keep his teammates involved in the offense.
And they're bringing you up close and personal on the AT&T 5G Slam Cam. And that's going to be a turnover. They call him for 8 seconds.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
Siakam is checked in for the Celtics. Now here's Harden. He's got 15. Pass to Haywood. Nance gets the rebound. Nance has got 6 rebounds here tonight. And the 76ers with some changes. Oakley comes in for Jefferson. And Smith subbed in for James Harden. Boston also with the sub. Green's checked in. Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation.
This has definitely been a problem for him tonight. Way too many turnovers.
Philadelphia's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. To the paint, here's Abdul Rauf. And the dunk to finish it off. Beauty.
That is ferocious.
You said it. That was ferocious.
Ammonia strong, we call that. Wear that rim out.
And all the turnovers, guys, are hurting his team. I mean, he's continuing to just give the ball away.
Walls is checked in for Haywood. Smith with a wide open look. Wide open shot is on the money. Smith's got 11 points.
just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there. After a first half where he had just 1 turnover, fellas, things have changed in the second. They're starting to pile up on him now.
Here's Smith, 11 points in the game, and a miss there off the inbound.
That's exactly how you have to defend him. He's a guy that the D needs to be aware of at all times.
And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Abdul Rauf against Fox. Here's Smith. Scored the bucket. He's made 5 so far, shooting a very clean 5 of 7.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Purposeful passing it is, partner. Their last 10 points have all come off assists.
Now off the inbound, and the jumper is on the mark. Abdul Rauf's got 4 points this quarter.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time. While we have a break, we can see which teams have made the most of their second chance opportunities over the last 10 games. Number 1, the Celtics.
I mean, you love their aggressiveness, not settling for one shot offensively, but really running down those loose boards and converting for extra points.
It's stolen by Nance. And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court.
And with the break in the action, let's look at the stats for Fox. He's putting up about 14 points a night, 6 assists, and 2 rebounds. And he's such a big part of what they do offensively.
Yeah, he's just got that nice feel, that sixth sense, knowing where to be on the floor to help his teammates generate points.
Now, here is Smith, 13 points in the game. And here is Siakam. And that's going to be a turnover. They call for 8 seconds.
Oh, costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Philadelphia's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. Here's Gugliotta, and he stuffs it. What a pass to set him up.
Well, you know what? Abdul Rauf is not an assist machine, but leave a guy that open, and he'll make you take notice.
That'll be a 5-second call.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
From about 19 feet. Yep, that one goes. Abdul Rauf's got 6 points in the quarter.
Pick works well there. Not much resistance from the D.
Yeah, that's not the defense you need. You got to be tougher defensively.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
Philadelphia with the ball. They haven't given up any points here in the second half. Gets the three-pointer to fall.
Guys, I tell you what, feels like everything is coming easy to him. Just taking what he sees and capitalizing.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time.
Hey, it's obvious. When you're down, you can't afford to make mistakes, and he's made a few of them tonight.
Celtics making a switch here. Davis is checked in. Here's Abdul Rauf. 11 points in the game. Again, Philadelphia.
Yeah, letting it rip. They're just having fun right now.
Yeah, offensively, they've just been rolling. Impossible to stop.
Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation.
Philadelphia ball.
.158 left in the third quarter. The tray. Another three for Philadelphia.
He's come out here in the second half and done a nice job moving, getting good looks, and finding his range.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time.
That's his fourth turnover this quarter. He's got to snap out of it and get focused.
.143 left to play in the third. Passes it to Gugliotta. Green against Smith. That's the 6th make from the field. He's taken 9 shots and missed but 3.
Seems like he can't miss right now, guys. I mean, completely in the zone this quarter.
That'll be a 5-second call.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost him.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
Here's Abdul Rauf. Count it. Abdul Rauf's got 18 points.
You know, throughout this quarter, guys, they've had no answer for him defensively, and he's been absolutely relentless.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost him.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
Here's Smith. Boston grabs the miss. Davis has got rebound number 8 here tonight in the game. And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time.
Sixers ball.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Here's Abdul Rauf. He's got 18 to the middle. Shot's good by Oakley. Oakley's got his second basket of the game.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Really a prime example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
.51 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Nice shot by Smith.
Yeah, that was the third straight high-percentage look the defense has allowed. The defenders have got to start putting bodies on bodies.
Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation.
That's his third turnover of the quarter. I think he's got to slow things down just a bit.
There's 49 seconds left here in the third quarter. Plenty of daylight on that shot. Abdul-Rauf's got 21.
Boy, he's having a great half here. Exactly the opposite of the first.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
.46 seconds left to play here in the third. Lets the three fly. Another three for Philadelphia.
In perimeter scoring, I have to imagine it was a topic of discussion at halftime.
Certainly. I mean, they saw a weakness in the perimeter defense and took advantage of it.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
40 seconds left in the third. Fires the three. Kept alive. Oakley. And Charles Oakley out there with the slam.
He is absolutely a wrecking ball on the offensive board. Charles Oakley crashing with a lot of force.
That'll be a 5-second call.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Dennis Johnson's checked in for the 76ers. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. The shot by Abdul Rauf is no good.
They've been the better rebounding team by a healthy margin, but it hasn't been enough.
Yeah, you know, they're hustling and giving a good effort, that's for sure, but unfortunately, the execution has been lacking.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Diversified scoring in this one for them.
I love when everyone can get involved, a full team effort.
Wallace misses, and they recover it. Johnson, the pass to Abdul Rauf. With 2 seconds left, that's good from Johnson on the assist by Abdul Rauf. Johnson's got 14 points for the game. Unable to get the ball in bounds, they get called for the 5-second violation.
Sixers ball.
He gets it up, and that would have counted, but his shot was off the mark this time. And so it's the Philadelphia 76ers, able to put on a show for the ages. They've had active hands and have forced a lot of turnovers in this one. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. And how about a look now at our assist of the game? Brought to you by State Farm.
And he's always been the favorite to bag this honor. These kind of feeds are his bread and butter.
Well, you can't run away from the DNA. When he's running the show, he makes sweet highlight reel plays night in and night out.
And we reach the fourth quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
That'll be a 5-second call. When you think about the All-Star game last year, Greg, some concern about the lack of competition. It worries me. Does it worry you?
Kevin, it's not ideal. I think it's worth asking what could give the players more incentive to win, whether that's money or something else we can think of.
'76ers moving the ball around. Shots good by Abdul Rauf.
And with the lead, I like the strategy here. Continue to get the ball to guys who can do something with it.
If it's working, keep working it. That's what I say. Keep the pressure on them.
Unable to get the ball in bounds, they get called for the 5-second violation.
You're setting the team back when you fail to take care of the ball. That's his 5th turnover.
Off the inbound pass. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. And Jewel Rose got 29.
They're getting a lot of their points outside the paint. 3 of their last 5 baskets are from three-point range. Oh, costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that mistake.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
And the 76ers making a change here. Smart's checked in. Johnson outside. And the 76ers tack on 2 more.
And that's just cold-blooded right there. He's taking no prisoners.
Guys, when you're this hot, it's elementary. Let it fly. Keep staying at it.
And they've been just a little too casual with the basketball. It continues to haunt them.
And it has hurt them, no doubt about it. 7 points yielded off turnovers this quarter alone.
Philadelphia with the ball. Pass to Smart. Clark, I'm not sure there's been another era in the NBA with so many fantastic passers at every position.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a function of what we saw going back into the 80s with Bird and Magic and how they shared the ball and were such great passers. And you had another group of outstanding playmakers at the point guard spot and on the wings. So now, centers at this particular stage in the game's evolution are playmakers, excellent passers, and are players that teams can run their offense through. So I think it's just been kind of a natural evolution because of the skill level of all players when it comes to passing.
No good on the free throw. Haywood's checked in for Charles Oakley. And he's good on the second. That'll be a 5-second call.
Yeah, another costly turnover. That's number 4 here in the fourth.
Yeah, and a lot of possessions left on the table, and he's been the main culprit. Squeeze that orange, young fella.
Fourth quarter still young, just over a minute play. He gets that one.
Pick works well there. Not much resistance from the D.
Yeah, that's not the defense you need. You got to be tougher defensively.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time. So, Clark, we know you're very familiar with the college game. How do you think the one-and-done rule has worked out so far?
You know, not as it was intended to, Kevin. I mean, in some ways, the chance to see guys like Durant and others play in college for a year was better than not having them there. But I think it's also created this expectation that if you're not a one-and-done, that you've somehow failed, and that's detrimental to the psyche of young players.
Here's Cycli. And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court.
And these turnovers he's committing are just killing his team.
Yeah, and that was a raggedy quarter of basketball for him. That's the only way I can say it. He's hurting more than he's helping them right now.
Smith checked in for Smart. Philadelphia with the ball. They've got a 10-0 run going on the floor for Boston. We've got Devin Booker. He's out there with Anderson. And it's Sparks in at the 4.
You gotta love his aggressiveness to finish inside.
Well, his leaping ability gives him a great advantage.
Fellas, that's exactly why they look to get him the ball around the rim. I mean, it's either a dunk or free throws every time.
Nance, he's checked in for Durant.
Larry Nance.
Smith kicks to Haywood. Johnson outside. We love the fact that the NBA is constantly evolving. Greg, what have you thought of the recent schedule adjustments?
I think the league's done a great job cutting down on the back-to-backs. And also, I like these two-game, like, baseball-style series we've seen. Limiting travel helped big time.
Seems to me as though he's lost his way a little bit in the second half. He's been turnover-free before the break. That's certainly not the case anymore.
Pools checked in for the 76ers. Here's Philadelphia. A 12-0 run right now and counting. Inside, here's Haywood, and slam dunk by Haywood.
And the one-hand slam just looks so pretty when it's in his hand, and he's the one doing the slam.
Agreed. He is smooth as silk, even on a power finish.
Part of what makes him unique, guys, that combination of power and polish.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost him.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
The pass to Poole from downtown. The shot, no good.
They've been the better rebounding team by a healthy margin, but it hasn't been enough.
Yeah, you know, they're hustling and giving a good effort, that's for sure, but unfortunately, the execution has been lacking.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
Smith outside for the three, and the three ball is good. Smith's got 11 points here in just the second half.
And certainly, they are not hesitating, letting it fly from deep here in the second half.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. As a matter of fact, I hate to see teams get conservative with the lead. As long as they're good shots, take them, and as long as they're falling, continue to take them.
So it's Philadelphia now. Here in the fourth quarter, their defense has been very strong, allowing no baskets. And Poole gets it to go.
So many of the plays they're running designed to create opportunities from deep.
Well, you know, that's exactly their plan here in the fourth. Work to find space behind the arc and then bury some threes.
And these days, you know, Clark, the trade for a star player takes a stockpile of draft picks, doesn't it?
Well, that seems to be the one way you can assure yourself of getting a proven star somewhere in the area of his prime. You know, and it doesn't always work out for both parties. Teams typically, in that case, would have to mortgage a bit of their future to get a player of that caliber. So it is tilted towards more risk than reward in most of those scenarios.
That'll be a 5-second call.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
Over 3.5 minutes through the final quarter now. Pass to Poole from deep. Rebounded by the Celtics.
Boy, I'm absolutely shocked he didn't get that one to go. Usually he's money from deep.
And that's going to be a turnover. They called for 8 seconds. And the NBA last season, Clark setting records in attendance. Fans are pouring into the arenas on a nightly basis.
Well, it's a great game. I mean, you and I are biased, Kevin. We love the NBA. I played in it. You've broadcasted for a long time. But I do think there's another element, not just the excellence of the players, but the parity that exists now. There are a lot more teams that are playoff worthy, and that keeps them and I think their fans engaged as well.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
The Celtics making a switch here. Young's checked in. Here is Haywood. That's a 2 from Smith. Good from the moment it left his hand. That makes him 10 for 14.
Coming off a big game, his confidence couldn't be higher, and Coach knows it.
Showing no signs of slowing or cooling down. They're going to ride him as far as he can take him.
And Clark, we know Commissioner Silver has acknowledged the game has changed in terms of its impact on players' bodies. And so adjusting the regular season's length is not out of the question.
Well, you and I have talked about it for years. I've talked about it with other fellow announcers, it would be wonderful to see the season reduced by about 15-20% in terms of regular season games. I think it would enhance the product immensely. And the fact that Commissioner Silver is letting us know it's not off the table, maybe we'll see it reduced in the not-too-distant future.
And the 76ers making a change here. Russell's checked in.
That's a textbook example of how to move the ball. Boy, you got to love that action.
Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation.
Philadelphia ball.
Passes to Smith. Some nice ball movement here by the 76ers. Took him no time at all on that one. Poole's got 6 points in the quarter.
The man has no heart, and that's poor defense for a team that has a long way to catch up.
They look pretty demoralized to me, and that always shows through at the defensive end first.
Here is Russell. Smith outside. To the paint. Here's Poole. It's good. The assist that time from Smith. Smith's got his 4th assist in this one.
And that bucket adds to what has been a big difference in points in the paint between the two teams.
Yeah, it's really been quite a contrast. I like the way they're attacking the middle at their offensive end.
Green, he's checked in for the Celtics.
Substitution. Jalen Green.
Here is Haywood. Pass to Poole. Wide open look. And Boston with the rebound. Nance has got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight. And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
To the middle. That's good from Wallace on the assist by Haywood. Haywood's got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. And one of the big changes to college basketball, Clark, as you know, the NIL, name, image, and likeness. It seems like that would impact the choice to enter the NBA draft.
I don't think there's any question it's had that impact. Some guys that were borderline draft picks now not being penalized for being on scholarship can monetize their name, image, and likeness and do so to the tune of some fairly significant dollars in some cases. And even if the money is not NBA large, it still can close the gap for a family of a player that might be struggling and could use some additional income.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Outside, Russell. Poole with no one around. No good with the triple. Nance with it. And that's going to be a turnover. They called for 8 seconds.
Violation.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Philadelphia's gotten 8 shots off from three-point land and hit half of them. Smith outside. Russell finds Poole. Now Wallace. A 3-ball. Hits the 3-point bomb.
3-pointers are killing them at this point, and they haven't been able to respond at the other end.
You know, the only way that's going to turn around defensively is by stopping the outside shot, not getting into a shootout. They're not going to out-shoot out this team.
Charles Oakley is checked in for the 76ers.
Charles Oakley.
So it's Philadelphia now. Here in the fourth quarter, their defense has been very strong, allowing no baskets. Here's Cycling. And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court. We've seen players criticized for skipping their media obligations after tough losses, Greg. How egregious is that in your opinion?
Well, you know, they say the true test of character is how you respond to when things aren't going your way. So, for me, it's important to be accountable in those tough moments.
And Charles Oakley out there with the slam.
Just living around the hoop. Oakley, man, he is a ferocious finisher.
That'll be a 5-second call.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost him.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
The 76ers making a switch here. Abdul Rauf is checked in. Now here's Nance. And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost him.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
And here's Wallace. He'll bring it up for the 76ers. It's blocked, and he gets it back. And there's the pass to Abdul Rauf. A fresh 14 for Philadelphia.
And if there's one guy who's not afraid of contact, it's Oakley.
Second team foul.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for Philadelphia.
They're still slashing and attacking the rim, and the defense yet to make the adjustment and keep the ball in front.
They brought the hard hats and the lunch pails with them, too. Done some great work down inside.
First free throw is good. What do you think of the league's most recent CBA, Greg, that 7-year deal just signed?
Oh, Kevin, the NBA and Players Association both need to be commended. Labor peace through the rest of the decade. Most pro sports don't have this kind of stability.
De'Aaron Fox is checked in for Trae Young. And so he hits both.
I mean, Oak is as strong as an ox. Has that intimidating nature about him on both ends. Someone you just do not want to mess with.
They're going to turn it over. They couldn't get it in bounds that time. Here is Oakley. Dishes it to Smith. Good ball movement here by the 76ers. Abdul Rauf hands it from downtown. Abdul Rauf's got 32 points.
It's hard not to love watching Abdul Rauf stroke it from outside. What a nice release. And he's a really good scorer.
That'll be a 5-second call.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost him.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
No one near him. That's good on the jump shot. Abdul Rauf's got 34 points.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
Well, I'm going to credit the screen. I mean, that's a good, strong pick he lays there.
And Greg, while the commissioner might not like player trade requests, Kevin Durant said it's great for the league for players to have that leverage. Where do you stand?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. The main thing is trying to keep those requests in-house. Otherwise, it can be deflating for fans.
Smith, the pass to Oakley. And there's the defensive 3-second call.
Second violation. Sixers ball. At the line for one. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
one of the most accurate free throw shooters we've ever come across. Abdul Rauf, not a guy you want to foul.
Wallace outside. Pass to Abdul Rauf. Out to Smith from outside the arc. Goes up again. Launches it. They grab their own miss. Oakley passes to Wallace. Pass to Haywood. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Fires the 3. Rebounded by the Celtics. Cycley's got 7 rebounds in the game. And that's going to be a turnover. They called for 8 seconds.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Russell, he's checked in for Haywood.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for the Sixers.
It was a standout performance across the board.
I mean, it was like watching a cat play with a mouse. They were able to do more or less whatever they wanted.
And it'll mark their 4th win on the year, actually their 5th win on the year.
And against a conference opponent, always good to take that first win of the season series to establish a psychological edge.
Especially because they're going to get together 3 more times this season. You love to get an opponent figured out early when you're going to be seeing them that often.
Here's Abdul Rauf following the basket made by Bill Russell. Pass to Abdul Rauf beyond the arc. A rebound by the Celtics. Now Nance. And there's the 8-second call as they can't get it across half court in time.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
They are enjoying a commanding lead.
And it really gives them the opportunity to give their starters a rest. Always critical when you get ready for that home stretch. And you can sense that these fans, these players, they are ready to celebrate.
And I think they can start that celebration right now. I mean, what a terrific team victory.
At the line for Philadelphia, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
And that one misses. And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession. Unable to get the ball in bounds. They get called for the 5-second violation.
Philadelphia ball.
We've got 33 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one. Shoots the 3. Offensive rebound. And they call the 8-second violation. Too much time getting it up court.
And just a little too lax with that possession, and it cost them.
And I tell you what, more brain-neutral plays like that one, and they'll have a hole deeper than the one they're already in.
There's 14 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Here's Abdul Rauf. Smith on the wing. Wallace outside.